Happy Mahalaya to all of my subscribers and who support me a lot, and all of my friends who like my videos, who share my videos, and also who see my videos. What's up, guys? Welcome back to day 4 of 15 days of Opencv for beginners in Python. I'm Chandu and I'm super excited to be the instructor of this course. So in this one, we are talking about how can I draw the geometry using Python and Opencv. So without any further delay, so let's get started. So all right, so in that tree, we see how can we represent an image using numbers. I also talk about how can you use the NumPy library in Python and how can you use the NumPy to generating one black images. And in this one, we are going to actually draw some basic geometrical shape like lines, circle, rectangle, like that. So I'm going to click here and create new Python file here. Let's say day4.py. Okay, so for that, we are going to actually using these black images, which are actually generated on day 3. This is the code for that. I'm going to copy this here. I'm going to copy this code and I'm going to paste it on here. Okay, day 3. If you missed out, so please check it out. Link will be in the description. I'm going to remove these lines here from here and run the code for the first time and see the output. Okay, and you can see here, this is nothing but called a black frame. Okay, and using this frame we can draw some lines, circle, and like that. Okay, I'm going to click to close that, and also I'm going to click to close that. Okay, so now I'm going to create one lines here. So for creating the lines in Opencv, we can use the line method. So let's say cb2.line. Okay, so this is the line method. So it will take some parameter as the argument. You can see the first one is the image, and the pt1, that's been the starting point, and the pt2, that's called the ending point of the lines, and the colors and the thickness, what should be the bigger thickness of the lines. Okay, so I'm going to put here the image itself, and the points one, this is nothing but called the starting point. So we are going to starting the point from the, let's say, 0 to 0 coordinate, just for things here, and we are going to what will be the end point. Okay, so let's say specify here one endpoint. Let's say 1 to 0, let's say 1 to 0, like that. And we need to put here the colors of the lines. So let's say put here one color. So, Opencv did the image in the BGR format. So BGR format. So that's mean B means blue, and the RG means green, and R means this called red. Okay, so now we are going to actually create a line for green colors. So that's why 0, 255, 0. Okay, and our last point is nothing but called the thickness. So let's say put a thickness as 2. Yeah, the minimum thickness is nothing but called 1. So let's put here 2 here and comment this line and save it and run the code and see the output. Okay, we got no lines here, but why this error? That's mean why line is not created here, because this is nothing but called grayscale images. If you missed my day 2 video, so please check it out. In this video I discuss about that things, the grayscale images and the flags 1, 0, and the -1, and also you can check my day 3 video. Okay, so how you represent a number as a represent as an image as a number. So if there is no channels, that's mean only one channels, that's mean this is nothing but called grayscale images. I'm also save the code and run the code here and see here no lines is created here. We put here the green color, but no lines is created. But why? Because this is grayscale images. If you don't put here 1, that's not the effect here. Okay, that's mean 512 cross 512 and 1 also the same. If you don't put here 1, no problem, that should be grayscale. But if I put here the number of channels should be 3, now you can see here my green line should appear here. Okay, so this is the starting point 0, 0, and this is the ending point 1 to 0, 1 to 0. This is nothing but the ending point. Okay, so now if I trying to create one lines like that, so our x-axis should be 0. Okay, x-axis should be 0, and also the y-axis should be 20 or 30, whatever you can. That's mean this is nothing but the y-axis and this is our x-axis. Okay, so for that on the x-axis our value is 0, because I'm going to actually create one lines from here, and the y-axis you can put here any kind of value. And now your endpoint, what should be your endpoint here? Okay, if I going to create one straight line here, so for that y-axis below all as it is same. Okay, so let's create that. Let's say I'm going to put here the y-axis, let's say 20, like that, and the x-axis, let's say I'm going to actually go on the, let's say 200, and our y-axis, let's say 220, and save and run the code, and you can see here one line is created. Okay, and you can see one line is created. And if I try to create so many lines here, let's say this one, and if I change it, let's say this one 40, this one let's say 60, and it also change this one, otherwise it will not the straight line, let's say 60. Okay, and run the code, and you can see 3 lines is appear here. You can also change the what do you call the thickness here. Let's say this one, let's say 9, and see the thickness of the lines, and you can see first line, second line, and the third line is the thickness. Okay, now there one another property that's called the arrow lines. Okay, so let's see how can it do that. So let's say cb2 dot, let's say arrow line. Okay, it's also take this parameter like the lines actually take. So let's say first take this parameter. Okay, this one, control C, and I'm going to paste it on here. Okay, I'm so lazy, and I'm going to comment on this line and see the output. And you can see here the first line is appear here with arrow line. Okay, you can also do the same thing for the thickness one. Okay, you can also change this thickness. Let's say put here the 4 as a thickness, and you can see here your line should be bigger. Okay, so our line is covered and our arrow line is also covered. So let's talk about the circle one. I'm going to comment out this line, and I'm going to see I'm going to talk about how can you create the circle. So let's say cb2 dot circle, simple, and its circle takes some argument. First one is the image itself, and the center of the images, that's mean the location of the images, and the radius of the circle, and the colors. Okay, so let's say put here image itself, and the second argument is called the it's called the center. So let's say center, that's mean the coordinate value here. So let's put here let's say 255 or 155, let's say this one, and what will be the radius of your circle. So let's put here one integer value here, let's say 90, and the colors. Okay, so what should the color? So let's put here blue color, I think it will work. So let's say 255 0 and 0. Why 255 is first? Because you know Opencv read the image in the Bezier format, so that's why blue colored channels should be 255. Okay, and last argument is called the thickness. Okay, you can see here thickness. So let's put here the, let's say 5. Okay, save and run the code, and you can see here blue circle is created. Okay, on this coordinate. You can also feel it. So there's a technique here. Just you need to put here -1. Okay, sorry for that. -5, and click here. You can see here it's fill. Okay, it's totally fill here. That's mean how you actually put here the minus signs here. You can put here -5, -1, whatever. It's up to you. I need to put here the minus sign. That's mean this should be the fill. Okay. Okay, so our circle is also covered here. Now we can actually create one rectangle. Okay, and see how can I create the rectangle here. cb2. Okay, cb2 dot rectangle. And now this is the most interesting thing. So first one is the image, and the points 1, points 2, and the color and the thickness. It's also the same for like that, but it has some difference. So I'm going to go on my PowerPoint presentation, and I'm going to discuss about that how the rectangle actually created. So as you can see here, this is the top left vertex coordinate x1 and the y1, and this is the lowest right coordinate. Okay, x1 comma y1 and x2 comma y2. So you need to put here like that. So that's mean this is our nothing but the y coordinate, and this is nothing but our x coordinate. This is nothing but x, and this is nothing but our y. Okay, and this is called y to y prime, and this is called x to x prime, like that. Okay, and this is the coordinate value here, and we need to go on the first top left corner to right corner, then it actually created one rectangle. So let's see how can it do that in code. So now first argument is take the image itself. So let's put here the image, and the points 1, this is the top left vertex coordinate. So let's say put here let's say 20 comma 20, like that. And the second one, p2, that is nothing but they call lowest right vertex coordinate. So let's say put here 100 comma 100, Okay, it's up to you. And the colors, what should the color? So let's say put here the red color. So let's say B, G, and R below should be 255. Okay, and the last one is nothing but called the thickness. So let's say put here the 4 as a thickness and save and run the code here and see the output. And you can see here one rectangle is created. Okay, if you put here the -4 and this should be the filled. Okay, this should be the filled here, and you can see here it's filled right now. You can also increase the size of your rectangle. That's mean how you actually increase this size one. Let's say this one, let's say 500, and this one, let's say 500. Okay, and see the output, it will be black. It's big. Okay, it is based on this what's called the lowest right coordinate. Okay, so this is the all things to actually on the basic things for the geometrical shape. Let's say line, arrow line, circle, and the rectangle. Now we're going to see that one bonus tip, that how can you draw the flag of Bangladesh just using this technique. So let's see how can you do that. So now we're going to actually remove all these lines, or you can also comment out these lines here. Okay, so in Bangladesh and Japan flags both are same. Japan flags are nothing but the combination of the white and the red color, and the Bangladesh flag is combination of the green and the red color. We can do that. So the Bangladesh flag ratio is nothing but called 10:6. Okay, so for that we are going to actually create like that. So let's say this one 600, we make this at 600 into what do you call, into 100 cross 100. So this should be the 1000. Okay, like that, and see the output. And now it looks like the flags ratios. Now we can actually make these full thing should be the green or white. Let's say first try for the Japan flags also, and you can also change it to the Bangladesh flag. Japan flags and the Bangladesh flags both are mostly same. Okay, so now what you have to do, you need to actually create one rectangle, with fill color. I think you guessed that. This is the bonus tip. Control C and Control B here. And this coordinate should be started from 0, and this coordinate should be started from 0, and it will go to the 100 to 600. So you want 100, it's 1000 to 600, and see it should be the filled. Okay, because I fill with the red color. Now we can also change this color. So let's say first go for the 255. That's mean that this was nothing but the white colors. Okay, and you can see our full line should be the white, and you can create one circle here. Okay, let's say copy these lines, and I'm so lazy to actually move that, and this is the bonus video for that. And you can specify here the coordinate, that's mean the center radius. So our center radius should be 500 divided by 2. So that should be the 500 into the 300. And now this circle should be on the middle. Okay, you can see here. Now we can specify here the colors. So let's say this one 255, that's been the red color. And you can also change the let's say the radius of the circles. That's a 1 to 0, and you can see here a Japan flag is created. Okay, and you can also change it as a Bangladesh flag. So BGR, so that's in B below 0 and the R below 0, and now you can see your Bangladesh flag is also created here. Okay, like that. It's so easy to actually make this out. Okay, so now you're going to see that how can actually put here one text on here. Let's say this is the Bangladesh flag or the Japan's flag here. So we can specify here one put text on here. So let's say cb2 dot put text. Okay, put text, it will take some parameter. First parameter is image itself and the text one. So let's say text, we are going to actually say here, let's say Bangladesh. Okay, I'm from Bangladesh. Okay, why am mistake here, Bangladesh. And the coordinate value, let's say this is coordinate for x coordinate, let's say 0, not 0, tens, and let's say this one 500. And the second and the third argument is nothing but called the front face. Okay, the font face, what should the font face here? And let's say cb2 have some building font. Let's say cb2.font Hershey, let's say simplex. This one is the font scale, and now we need to put here the scale of the font. If I hover over here, and you can see your font face is done and font scale. So let's put here one scale, let's say 3, and the fifth one argument, so first, second, third, fourth, and the fifth and the sixth one. So sixth one should be the our color. So let's say white color is okay. 255, 255, 255. And this one for the fronting, the scale is done. And the last one is called the thickness. So let's put your thickness as 3 and save and run the code and see the output. And you can see here Bangladesh is appeared here. Okay, Bangladesh tab is appeared here. You can also change it scale factor, also scale factor, and you can also move it out. Let's say this is like, let's say 50, and you can also do the same thing for here. How can you do that? You can also use this Japan one. Let's say do the Japan ones for like that, 255, 255. And also you can specify here the, let's say, red color. So there should be 0, there should be the 0, and let's say this is make for Japan. Okay, let's say Japan. Okay, and run the code and you see the output. You can see here Japan is appeared here, and then put text. So we covered all the things here. Let's say we learned that how can you create line, how can you create the arrow line, how can you create the circle, how can you create the rectangle, and how can you draw the Bangladesh flag, Japan flags, and also we learn how can you put some text on our frame. Okay, so this is a tutorial. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and make sure to comment on, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. And the day 5 we're going to discuss about the more interesting thing. I think you guessed that. So till then, take care and bye bye.